Hello, my name is Yura and welcome to another Baldur's Gate 3 video. In today's video, we're going to be trying out something different. We're going to be doing a Let's Play. Reason being is I wanted to do a Let's Play for quite a while now, and I've been thinking either of doing a Let's Play where we test out builds, or in this case, what I decided to do was do a thematic Let's Play. So in this case, we're going to be going for a sort of Lost Sharran Expedition one, where we have basically all Sharran themed characters. Of course, probably the only companion we'll be getting is going to be Shadowheart, and we're going to be utilizing some of the builds that I have on the channel that I already showcased with the Sharran theme. Now, the mods that we use, for example, we are using the basket full equipment mod, but mainly just for the cosmetics. Once we find the Dark Justicia armors throughout the game, so on Acts 2 and then in the Underdark, we're going to be most likely just picking up those, or well, definitely for the Act 2 armors, we're going to be picking up those instead of the modded ones, because I just prefer to play that way. We're going only for this, just for the aesthetics right now, but yeah. Now, regarding the builds that I usually post on Mondays, I was kind of busy these last few weeks, and I really didn't have that time to test out builds and so on, so kind of ended up slacking on that part, but we should be getting back to the usual posting schedule of one build per Monday or one build every week. Now, hopefully with this, with the playthrough, if I do end up continuing and if it does end up being enjoyable, I could probably post more than once a week, but we'll see that when we get there. So let's get going here. Let's start, try to go and deal with these intellect devouras. Now, I usually like to ambush them. So if you're going to turn-based here, we're going to take our ranger here. Now, we have basically, so the builds that we have the Sharran Fidelian, then we have a Sharran Cleric, right? Then we have a standard ranger. It's gonna be my normal ranger build that I like to use. And then we have the Dark Justicia Crusader, and then finally our Shadowheart build, which is also the one that's Sharran themed, which I think it's called the Ultimate Dark Justicia, where she'll be dual wielding the spear and a dagger that gives you basically roll like a crit on a 19 instead of 20 that we get in the modern pass. Alright, so we did manage to surprise. Now, unfortunately, everybody is in the second half of the initiative, so we don't really get to do a fully free extra turn, but it's fine. Now, I did turn on music for this case. I usually play without it because I've been listening to it so much, and I had it off for the longest time, so I would eventually start enjoying it again instead of just listening to it over, if you know what I mean. So there's that. It feels weird listening to it, but it's nice. Alright, let's see. So our cleric is going to be a trickster. I was contemplating doing a death cleric, but I haven't tried it out too much, so we're gonna be using the trickster one. We'll try to do some stealthing, like ambushing and so on, because we get later on we get a spell that gives everybody around us +10 to stealth checks. So that's gonna potentially be quite interesting, so we can try that out. Now, I did skip the entire Nautiloid scene because I thought that would be the least interesting part, since it's basically just really simple combat and me just getting the Blade of Avernus or the Everburn Blade. And that was about it. No, I didn't actually want to use Action Surge on her, but I did anyway. That's fine. Now, we don't have fire to light up this Nautiloid tank, unfortunately, because I did respec Shadowheart already and everybody's basically ready for just Little Neck normally. So we're just going to be doing it the old-fashioned without actually blowing up the Nautiloid. I'm not going to save Hunter's Mark for now. It would be nice to get the high ground for the extra accuracy, although I think we had 95% chance of hitting that guy as well. So generally, this is a very difficult fight. Now, I do have more than 4 characters. I'm also using a mod that gives enemies, I believe it's 300% more HP. This is just that I found that I was playing it before with only 4 characters, but what ended up happening was the combat was just taking too long and it was becoming tedious. So I found that having 5 to 6 characters in the party actually ends up being quite nice for it. And it just makes it so this way enemies don't, all of them just die in a single turn, because later on in the game, with how powerful the characters get without the extra HP mod, basically you can just kill half the enemies in your first turn if you have, especially if you have a bunch of characters who are first in initiative, in the first half of initiative. So yeah, I thought this mod is quite helpful, especially against bosses. Some of the bosses actually have a lot of HP. Now, there are some that I just skip in a sense, where I use cheese, so like Baromancy, or I just jump on them with the owlbear, but yeah, that's just some of them. A lot of them do actually have quite enjoyable fights, especially Orion. I like fighting Orion quite a bit. Gortash is quite simple, but yeah. Some of them, like the automaton on top of the wizard tower, is kind of tedious, especially for the early game, so I just usually blow that guy up. But anyway, we'll get there when we get there. Alright, so we're gonna be trying to get this guy out of here. Now, I do have a dagger, which we can't kill him with it. Oh, actually, let's try this. We'll probably save. Oh, actually, nice. We actually did manage to kill him. Actually, we rolled the highest damage possible. I don't know, there's a bug when you equip characters with daggers, I think. The characters treat the dagger as if they don't have anything in their hand. So they just do these weird animations. I think this broke with the last patch, which is unusual. But not too much of a big deal. And this should be it. There you go. Now, I also don't loot absolutely everything right now, because since I've been doing this for so long, and at some point you kind of get fed up with picking up everything to loot and then sell. So I just got a mod that basically I get 2000 gold every time I load a save. That's mainly just for a quality of life for me. As I'm testing builds, I usually like to buy all the magical equipment and then test different things out. I do pick up like coatings, potions, elixirs and stuff like that, but all of the other stuff for selling I usually don't, just because I don't need to. But everything, like for example, if you want to buy a bunch of elixirs of heal gen strength from Auntie Ethel, you can totally do it the old-fashioned way, where you just literally pick up everything that's not bolted down and you're gonna be just fine, right? Now there is a leather helmet in here. Well, I don't think I know. But we don't really need it, I just want the gold. Even though I don't really need the gold either, but I loot goblin mentality, if you know what I mean. So I still gotta loot everything, even though I don't need everything. Except the alchemy materials, those are still useful to have, so that we can get a bunch of elixirs and potions and so on. Now, we will be picking up all of the companions, we'll get them into the camp, because, for example, Astarion is very important in Act 2 for getting the potion of everlasting vigor. So we really need him.
There, in the grass. You can kill it.
You can kill it yourself. You're perfectly capable, Astarion. Let's try to roll away. Let's see if it is. Alright, we failed. Unfortunately. I do have a...
And you.
Never mind.
I need her alive.
Promises, promises. But
Man, I heard this so many times.
I saw you on the ship.
Do I want to headbutt him?
Not?
Nah, let's just cooperate.
And now you're going to tell me exactly what you and those tentacle freaks
You have it
don't
backwards.
like to me.
Your mind twists. You try to hold the memory, but it fades to the worm.
Hey, also, if for those of you who end up being interested, please tell me if you would like me to not skip through all the dialogue, because I usually have a tendency of just muscle memorying and then just skipping through it. So yeah, tell me if you prefer to listening to the dialogue fully, or if you just don't care and you're here for the combat and the yapping, because these will mostly be just yapping sessions. Nothing. Oh, we don't want to use that. We're not really just actual full-on dialogues and everything, right? But if enough people are interested for it, we can just do it freely. Hopefully we succeed this time. Oh, nice, not 20. Very good. Burn his hand.
I saw him. And to think, I was ready.
Accepted.
My name's Astarion. A
Introduce.
pleasure. So, do you turn us in? Of course it. Although it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, you can take show that in my camp.
And good luck.
All right. Yeah, like I said, he's very important fact too with the potion of everlasting vigor. Now, I usually used to save scum when I was doing the inspiration, but then I got a mod that gives me 99 inspiration. I don't know what is it. I guess it's my acoustic brain, where I could just get a mod that lets me pass all the skill checks and the lockpick checks, but that kind of defeats the purpose. And I like the dice rolling, so I still get it, even though I know I'll succeed all the rolls. I still like to roll them. I don't know what's that, is that just me or if somebody else also does it, but it's, yeah, I noticed I caught myself doing that, but still. Okay, so we're just gonna step away. We're not gonna give in,
It will be a joy
because
to serve. It's possessed, but then the feeling
If this
slips.
thing gets up, we're all gonna
Creature's
die.
mind, see the monster lies exhausted, defeated.
Because I think he has something on him. Yeah, he has quite enough stuff on him. Especially the potion of speed and the void bulbs. Void bulbs are actually quite nice. If only they were like the black hole and they didn't target allies, that would be so good. But they're still useful regardless. You can spare a few potions to also blow up your allies after you group them up with a bunch of enemies. Now we're gonna be picking up Gale as well. Let me just get some of the supply pack and the potions. Potions are quite important. Since healing spells are quite weak, potions are the thing you need for healing.
You approach the sigil on the stone.
We're gonna touch the
Magic
sigil.
glitters and
A hand?
Of course, we gotta do this.
Perhaps I should have clarified.
And then we actually try to help him.
A helping hand. Anyone?
Nice. We succeeded. We don't have any inspiration yet, so Gale will probably be stuck there if we failed. Of course, we could say scum, but no real reason to do it right now.
Apologies. Usually better at this.
Instructions.
Magic. Say, but I know you, don't I? In a manner of speaking. You were on the Nautiloid as well. Then I can only assume you too were on the receiving end of a rather unwelcome insertion in the ocular region.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't have phrased it more repellently myself.
No use sugarcoating it, is there? The insertee we speak of, this parasite, it's a process known as ceramorphosis, and let me assure you, it is to be avoided.
I don't know, the powers are kind of sick
To know enough about
when
our
we get them
condition
in
to
the late
realize
game,
it's
but
beyond most clerics.
Most, no doubt, but I find myself hoping to be in the presence of the few.
these tadpoles are beyond
You
my
don't happen to,
knowledge.
as we've established, few enough can. It's not exactly a comp. We're most certainly going to need a healer, and soon too. How about
Alright.
Oh, but before you think you're about to embark, it's an act of foresighted kindness, I assure.
Okay, sorry, Gale, but
You have a familiar twinkle in your touch. You're a wizard, aren't you?
a wizard, not a witch.
Would you consider yourself particularly well read?
Actually, potential try to light and see what happens.
Great use to me.
Let's see. I was reading a whole book every day. Yeah, there we go.
The limited time for reading that undergoing ceramorphosis.
We were definitely reading every day, especially with the whole Sharran
How can I help?
theme
I question the
in
wisdom
the
of that
dark.
decision,
Imagine
but
how hard
so
that
be
would
it.
be, reading a book in the dark.
I'll be in the camp.
Alright, see you, Gale. He got discombobulated. Now let's go rescue Bazel. Well, even though we will be leaving her at camp, but still. She, I think, isn't really important. I mean, she is important if you want the silver sword of the astral planes in Act 3. Otherwise, she's not that important. Karlach definitely isn't important, which is a shame to say. She's a cool character, but you kind of want to get the infernal robe, right? That's a really powerful Act 1 item that you want to get. We're gonna get the shovel first before we rescue her. So yeah, a lot of the companions are useful because you can get some really powerful magical items, but then there are some that are just not important that much, such as Karlach, unfortunately. All right, let's dig this up. Even though I don't need most of this, I still like digging it up anyways because, well, yes. I like looting. Bronze ingot. It would be nice to sell, but we have what? 22,000 gold already? Alright, let's see. We should probably shoot her down and rescue her.
Yellow as a toad, twice as ugly.
The thing's dangerous.
your skull pounds in response to the prisoner's.
Get rid of
She definitely is a toad.
Blades high, Dimessa.
I just stack him.
Dimessa, watch out!
Now I would like these to be around 30-minute episodes. I think this is probably the most easily digestible, I would say. 30 minutes per 30 minutes, and also it doesn't. It's easy. I think it's gonna be easy to do this because there is not a whole lot of editing required for it anyway. So hopefully you will be able to, and of course, it's enjoyable to watch and to listen. Is the goal with these would probably... Oh wow, we only did 2 damage to that base of the cage. Rip. With these would be basically that
To keep going.
you could just turn it on in the background and just have somebody yap in your ear while you're playing yourself or whatever. I guess that would be the main goal of this. I think it's gonna be worth to rescue her, yeah, because I gave her a bunch of thanky stuff. Since we won't be using her past this point anyway. And this isn't really a particularly difficult fight, it's just 2 of them in general, although they have, of course, 60 and 54 HP, but generally it's not a difficult fight. We will be using up our action surges this time, though. And we're gonna... Actually, we won't. We'll do it after we deal with the... Oh, nice. After we deal with the bandits at the crypt or whatever the place is called. Right, let's see.
Deep and move.
I wish they had metal armor. I could use Shocking Grasp on them, but I guess we'll just use the Bone Chill. And problem is... Alright, we didn't. Nice. Actually, this guy's annoying because he runs away and huddled up into a corner here or somewhere, and then only one person can attack him at a time while the rest has to shoot him, which kind of sucks if you have a lot of melee characters.
On I go.
Damn, she got that with disadvantage. Why would she attack him? Damn. AI is just beyond comprehension. We're gonna be using the Hunter's Monk now.
Never a dull moment.
We might just need to save up the magic missiles for the crypt. Because the first fight outside is not that difficult, but the second one inside with a lot of the looters or whatever they're called, it is quite difficult. Especially if you're just playing a normal honor mode without, well, with 4 characters and with normal HP and so on. Especially if you don't have a lot of characters. Playing with 300% HP and just 4 characters, that's gonna be quite a rough fight. Let's heal up.
Push my luck again.
Do I want to use my... I mean, we can recharge 1. Ah, nice. This is a pretty... Wow. Of course, we'll roll a 2 instead of a 4. Alright. Hopefully we just get her with the offhand. There we go. Now we're gonna start her off with dual wielding. Shadowheart I won't be giving any of the just cosmetics yet, like cosmetical outfits. We can just do that later when we get to Act 2 and so on, but she's gonna be using the standard gear. We will be buying better weapons at the trader, so like in China +1. So the merchant stockpile things and stuff like that, I'll probably just do that off camera, because that's not really really interesting. I could just show it where how I usually do it every playthrough, but other than that, yeah, it's not really interesting to watch. I would think, because I'm just doing the same thing over and over again, stockpiling the merchants while leveling up each character individually one by one. And this blade would be quite epic if it had enchantment +1, which unfortunately it doesn't. You would think that all of the weapons that have special effects or special names would have at least enchantment +1, but unfortunately they do not.
The tadpole hasn't yet scrambled all your senses. Auspicious. But the longer
Almost.
my people possess the cure.
Careful. She obviously sees your kindness as
We should do
You
it
have
together.
made an ally. You've a shot.
half elf.
Come. The Horned Ones mentioned a camp. A creche must be near.
What's up for discussion?
We'll be going to the crash, but around time I'm gonna be sending her to camp.
Shook. You believe.
As you
There you
can't slow down.
go. An apple. An apple a day keeps the Githyanki away, I guess. And a potat. Oh yeah, with so many hours even I quite relatively recently in a way learned that which makes sense, but it just didn't dawn on me. You don't actually need to find the bird caches. You can just use the dig action. Oops. Well, not like that. The dig action on the rough area where it is. And then your character, even if you fail the survival check, they're just gonna dig it up anyway. which is pretty nice. Especially for that one. Oh, that's a lot of scrolls, but nothing really we want to just send to camp. Especially for that one that I think requires a nat 20. Natural 20 for you to actually discover it. It's a quite nice bird cache. It has a magical item in it, so. But yeah, knowing that,
You both twice it, but we
it's
don't
pretty
want-
easy to get it now, right?
Got ourselves competition
We
already.
attack them. Now, normally, if you just attack this coiled rope and drop the block, you just kill this guy. But I think the rock deals 50 damage and he has 54 health. So we have to damage him a little bit so that we can get him to die when he falls into the hole. Hopefully we don't miss here. That's very good. So now we can just shoot at the rope and drop the rock on his head. And there we go. We gotta deal with Gimbal Bok.
Go from here.
Oh yeah, another mod that we have here. Now, as you may know in the game, so the Sharrans have the... Basically, they're immune... Well, the statue got in a way. They are immune to blindness, right? Now, I tried using the duplication mode to duplicate the immunity to blindness ring. But that doesn't work too well because when you do duplicate that item, it just duplicates a normal, non-magical ring. So it doesn't really work. So then, to find a way around that, I tried looking for a mod that gives me the same effect, but I found that there really isn't any. There is a mod that gives you the Devil Sight ring, but it has a drawback. But then I actually ended up successfully managing to find a mod that gives you Devil Sight at the start of the long rest. Now, this is only for this playthrough, just so that we can sort of imitate the immunity to blindness. Now, we're still very much weak to blindness if we get casted a spell on us or somebody casts fog. But the main reason we want this is all of these builds actually, when you get all of the items, they actually do interlap a little bit. So, for example, some of them require the True Sight ring and so on. But all these builds on their own, and sometimes you can combine it because there are a few items like the Helldusk helmet and the Steel Watcher helmet that do give you immunity to blindness as well. But all these builds excel at fighting in darkness later on in the game. Wow, we actually missed an 84% chance with advantage. But all of them, yeah, prefer or excel fighting from within the darkness spell. And we kind of needed this so we can have everybody be capable of fighting in darkness without everyone being able to get items that make them immune to blindness. Or being able to stick to the theme. Wow, we just can't kill this guy and he has... Well, he healed himself as well. Hopefully we get him now. There we go. I'm gonna deal with the wizard. She has Ice Knife, and Ice Knife is actually quite nasty in the early game, because even if she misses, potentially the explosion will deal quite a lot of damage to us, so we don't really want that. Nice, we almost actually killed her with our Crusader here. Let's see if we can kill her with the offhand. We can't actually, then. Yeah, I was hoping to be able to cast Dash and then get close to this Ranger guy. But that's fine. I'm gonna be saving my spell slots for the next fight in the crypt with the like the barbarian dude and all of the other ones, because that one is actually can be quite difficult because there's so many of them, especially if you don't surprise them. It can get quite nasty. Let's see if we can make him get a gaping wound. We can, very good.
Despite everything.
We can try to do all of it. Now, we don't really want to cast too many spells that deal damage, especially like Toll of the Dead, because we only have 14 wisdom. I built this character primarily to use weapons, so because we will be getting quite late in the game compared to everybody else, but we're going to be getting extra attack with our Dark Justicia Cleric.
Life comes easy these days.
Because their main job is to cast Spirit Guardians and I forget the spell name, but the one that gives plus 10 to stealth checks to everyone around them. Yeah. Alright, let's see. She might be able to reach him. Not really, actually, no. Because of divines. This guy is kind of always the most difficult one to take out because he just runs around everywhere and keeps shooting. Oh, I didn't actually see we were walking through the wines. All right.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Another fight. Let's go. Don't waste a step.
How many? Oh, 36%. Well, this is a wisdom save. Oh, he's a no. That's why I'm cunning. Damn. Because of that advantage to oh no, there we go. The wisdom saving throws, gnomes are actually quite good as characters, right? Because
Swift as my feet can carry me.
enemies are gonna have a harder time casting hold person on them and so on. What you got, Gimblebug? I think he has a key. No, he doesn't. He has a shovel. That's right. And he's stale bread. I'm gonna take that. Who doesn't like stale bread? Oh, you have scroll of mage armor. We could use it long rest, but doesn't matter. Now, I do also like picking up a bunch of containers. That's just well, backpacks are useful for barrelmancy because you can put a boatload of barrels into a backpack, put the backpack on the floor, break the backpack, and then basically the barrels are just gonna spill out of it. Now we don't need the torch and all of this, so we're just gonna drop it on the floor. Now normally I used to always just knock on the door and have the guy let me in, but what's a lot easier is you just lockpick it. Now this is gonna be our ranger rogue character, our main lockpick, so we're gonna need to lockpick this. And this way is just easier. You don't need to pass a skill check, and you can do this as long as you have lockpicks. I think we have what, 3 lockpicks? We don't have that many, but usually don't need that much. All right, let's go deal with the guy inside. And I think after we deal with this guy, we're gonna stop the episode, and then the next one we're gonna start is with the big fight. Now we might just ambush him. Well, okay, we'll get there when we get there. All right, let's do him. Now, yeah, you do ambush him, which you kind of want to do, because if you don't, he's gonna run around, open the door, and alert everybody, and then you have to fight everyone while they're not surprised, and that's not really what you want, because you want to be successfully killing at least one of them, potentially 2 of them. You could probably kill 2 if you don't. Actually, with 4 characters without the extra health mod, you probably just have to kill 1. You wouldn't really be able to kill 2. Now, yeah, same thing with the weapons. We're going to be using weapons as we find them. We are not going to be using really any modded weapons. I generally don't like using mods that change the game too much, unless it's quality of life stuff or that just makes the game enjoyable for myself, right? So, for example, I have the teleport party one. This is usually just for traversing. If I'm sneaking somewhere and then I need to get every character there one by one, I'll just teleport them. Or if, since I think the patch notes said that they fixed it, but they actually haven't, where your characters, when they go down a ladder or climb down a rock, they go one by one in a nice line instead of all just going through each other, which I think that's how it used to be before. Now it's yeah, it's just takes them forever, and then having this mod just makes it so easier or so much nicer, where you can just teleport them to instead of having to wait for all of them. We actually didn't manage to take him out yet, which is should be fine. We didn't get advantage. Fine.
Can't stay idle.
Do I want to use Hunter's Mark on him? Nah. I think we'll be fine.
Time to push my luck again.
I think we'll be fine. Oh, there we go. We got the perfect crit. Damn. Here's a key.
One day I'll catch a break.
Now here I usually like looting these food here, but I usually end up picking up the chairs as well by accident. So, well,
I'll take that.
let's try. Let's get the supply pack at least, and then the rest we can leave. Alright, but I think we'll leave it off here for the first episode. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a comment if you would be interested into watching something like this, if we would make it a more common theme. And hopefully I will see you in the next one, where we'll be actually having a build. So have a good one and take care.